Come on in to Margaret McSweeney's Kitchen for Kitchen Chat, where every week you'll meet chefs, cookbook authors, foodies, gourmets, and just plain people who love to eat. And along with laughter, chat, recipes, and stories about food, you'll sometimes also hear words of inspiration, love, and hope. As Margaret always says, Kitchen Chat is food for the senses and food for the soul. So grab a cup of coffee, put your feet up on a comfy chair, and get ready to spend a little time with Margaret and her friends.
Hello, dear foodie friends, and welcome to Kitchen Chat. I'm your host, Margaret McSweeney, here, of course, with my dear friend and co-host, Chef Jaime Laurita, in the beautiful Viking and La Cornue showroom in New York City. And today, it's a family affair, Jaime.
Sure is.
Would you like to do the introductions?
I don't think she needs an introduction.
And she doesn't need an introduction,
frankly.
right?
I mean, one of the most beloved housewives on Bravo TV, and one of my favorite sisters, Caroline Manzo, is in the showroom today.
Here I am.
She
All
is
the way from
in the
Jersey.
flesh.
Yes.
All the way from Jersey.
Yes. Paid the tolls and everything, went over the bridge and tunnels, and here I am. Quite a trek. Not like you guys from Chicago. It was more for me. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we are super excited to be here in the new New York showroom.
It's beautiful that you designed.
Well, thank you. And to talk about a lot of things that are going on in Caroline's life. It's all about you, Caroline, today.
Is it all about me?
It's all
Am I going to be
about
able
you.
to handle it?
Can you handle it?
I don't know. We're going to give it a shot.
All right.
But with it's not Margaret McSweeney to me. It's Margaret McSweetie.
Oh.
She's the kindest, sweetest person I've ever met, and we have to somehow corrupt you. I'm going to figure out a way, but for now, you are just...
I'm giving Caroline a challenge.
Yes, it is quite a challenge.
And Margaret, you might be clutching your pearls multiple times on today's episode. But I love Margaret McSweetie.
Margaret McSweetie.
I've never,
there
that
you go.
is perfect.
That's the perfect name for her.
Margaret McSweetie. She's
welcome.
like drinking a full bottle of honey.
She is. You're
Right?
just the most pleasant person I know.
And it's real.
It's real. It's genuine. You are a wonderful human being. I'm very, very happy to be here.
Well, I am just so honored to be with
she's
you,
tickled pink.
and I'm
Did you get a gift?
excited.
Am I supposed to be gifted?
Yes. Oh, I have a gift for you. Yes,
She-
so
Margaret-
it's up there.
Don't stop.
I do, just a
Constantly
little
bearing
something.
gifts.
Yes, it's right up front. We'll get that
You
to
didn't have to do that. That's very kind of you. Thank you.
But I
sweetie.
am just so excited. First of all, Caroline, I can't wait to hear some stories of childhood.
Oh, boy.
About Jaime
screwed.
to get the scoop.
I am
You want to
screwed.
go there for
I'm
sure?
officially screwed. Thank you very much, Margaret.
I'm so sorry, but if we could just get
Is
a
it
little
payback time for me?
little
Wow.
peek into the past.
Okay. She asked you.
Surprise.
I'm going to go now. Bye, y'all.
What is your favorite memory of Jaime growing up?
Oh,
and do you
Jesus.
remember him being in the kitchen?
I have actually a photo of him in the kitchen with little track racers, short shorts.
Were they yellow?
They were yellow.
My favorite.
And then they call them the wife beaters, but you know, the t-shirt.
Absolutely.
And you're literally standing in the kitchen by the stove with your hip kind of extended like this, and you're stirring something.
My hip was cocked.
Yes, and you stir it away.
Do you know what's funny about that? Like, we were talking about those fashion memories. Do you remember the Sears catalog?
Sure.
And me flipping through. We'd all do it. We'd be at the farm,
Yes.
upstate, and then
Montgomery Ward and Sears.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then I would be going through the catalog like we all did. And I remember distinctly picking out a pair of pink chinos and a green butterfly shirt. How did they not know right there and then that I was gay?
I don't know.
It's
Maybe
like, what were
thought
they
you were
not
expressing
thinking?
yourself. Oh, look at him. Look at him. Oh, good for him.
No, I was like, I would wear, there was another picture of me as a child, and I've got some buttes of you too, don't worry, where I had this blue and white, almost like the pattern on that artistic tile over there, Moroccan shirt with big sleeves and a turkey leg.
I remember that.
Remember that
And
photo?
a turkey leg.
And I used turkey leg. I had these like giant Moroccan sleeves.
Jaime used to perform all the time for us.
That's right. Here we go, kids.
Here you go. You want it, you got it.
All right,
okay. His favorite song was, he loved Gary Puckett and the Union Gap. And his favorite song was Young Girl. And it didn't matter where we were. We was Young Girl, get out of my mind. It didn't matter what we do.
I was expressing myself even back
Right.
then. Enough about me.
I just love that. And you mentioned the family farm. Can you tell us about this family farm and how that might have influenced? Because both of you have just such a love of food and
We do.
sharing it with family.
All of my greatest memories, I don't know about you, were always at the farm.
Sure.
And I said to my husband, not too long ago, my son Albie and I, we had to drive up in that area. and it was in Walton, New York. And I said to Albie, I said, I wish I remember the address. I would drive by it. And if God was watching, if there was a for sale sign on that property, I went home and I said to my husband, if that farm is ever for sale, if I could remember where it was, and I'm sure we could find that easily enough, I'd buy it.
Wow.
Because the memories, we had an Aunt Red.
Yep.
And she was everything you would expect her to be in that era. You know, she was in her 60s, 70s, 60s at that time, really, maybe even late 50s. Red, curly, crimped hair, in the house dress, the whole 9 yards. And she would make the homemade gnocchi and the pasta, and we'd have the big clam bake. Remember the clam bake every year?
The gaboutsel.
The gaboutsel. Oh,
Ugh.
the gaboutsel in the sink at my father's sawing, the head, the lamb head.
Do you know, Margaret, do you know what gaboutsel is?
I don't.
Oh,
I was
okay.
about to
Good
ask
for
what
you.
is.
It is lamb. Sheep.
Okay.
The head.
The head, the brains. And my dad would be there, and we would see this.
Yeah.
And he would saw, it sounds horrible, but it's a wonderful memory in a very crazy way, because I was mortified by it. I never ate it. I didn't want anything to do with it. But that day was such a special day because it was the close of the summer, and we'd invite all the farmers from
Community,
around, the whole community would come, and we'd have this massive clam bake. But Aunt Red, she would come and park herself there all summer, whatever, and we would make gabardine, gnocchis, homemade, her cheesecake, and everything was around food, and there would be so many people. Our tables, do you remember what our tables were made out of?
Yeah, they were basically, there were some that had barrels and they had plywood.
Right.
Yeah.
Or a door.
Yeah, right, a door.
My father would take a door
That's right.
and get the horses, the wooden horses, put them down, and sheets.
I remember the tablecloth, the
Right.
red and white
Yep.
clover tablecloths on that.
And we would have, we'd have sometimes the plastic tablecloth to make the pasta, and then when there wasn't enough tablecloths or linens, we would get sheets, bed sheets.
Yep.
Put them right over the door. And what amazing times. I remember the smell of the grass in the morning, the dew.
That's right. I remember
We go-
being the meatballs, like Grandma Laurita would be making meatballs. So both our grandmothers were like, they loved to hate each other.
Yes.
And they would be in the kitchen and they would be talking about each other like
Best of friends,
worst of enemies.
they were frenemies.
Yeah, frenemies.
They were frenemies.
They've defined frenemies.
Yes.
And they'd have cooking competitions?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Like my one grandma, Mayano, she was all of, back then she was heavier.
Yeah.
But by the time she passed, she maybe was 85 pounds, always with a cigarette in her mouth, and she'd talk like this, you know, with the glasses. And that's
Caroline
how she
reminds
talked.
me of her a little.
And she'd be like, and every other word was F, you know what they were. And my
Margaret, the
grandma,
F word.
Laurita,
The
the F word. We'll explain that to you later.
We'll explain what the F word is.
My other grandmother was robust and short, and she had these blue eyes and curly, and I was a fave.
You were. Caroline was the family fave.
I was a fave, and she used to call me Thumbelina because of that
Right.
doll that had the big blue eyes.
yes.
And she would call me Tumby for short, and she would say, Tumby, come here. Thumbelina, come in here. And my other grandma would go, yeah, Thumbelina. When is she going to teach you Thumbelina? You know?
Well, remember, first and foremost, we had a huge family. So it's 11 brothers and sisters, and then we'd have the addition of aunts and uncles and the weirdo uncle or aunt.
strays.
The strays that would come to help support and, and then the invitees that
That would bring guests.
that would bring people. So there was always, especially at the farm, there was always an occasion where there was a lot of food. So the older children, like my sister Cookie and Caroline, and they had a lot of exposure. At that time, they were older, so they could absorb it more. I was kind of in the middle of that. So I used to be woken up by the smell of meatballs frying.
Smells.
Wow.
That to me is a distinct memory that I every time I smell meatballs
Right.
frying,
Brings you right
it
back.
brings me there to that moment. But Caroline you got the certain family members got certain things. Like Fran, my sister Fran, she got the panzerotti.
Right.
She got that. She does them well. Caroline does all the bonuts and
Right.
all the cookies and
Souffle and-
strufle, the
yeah.
specialty things that my grandmothers used to make. So just like any good family, there's always a good recipe that someone attaches themselves to. And I think that all of us, throughout the family, that we've had those recipes throughout our lives that we make our own way.
Yeah, there are some you don't touch, you don't mess with, and then there are others which is more the case for us. We tweaked and we made it our own,
Yes.
but they're derived from those days at the farm or Sundays at the house. And like Jamie said, our house was the house where everybody gathered. It was a house that always had all the strays that didn't have anywhere to go. They would go and live. And here I am at this point in my life that my house is that house.
Yeah, Caroline's house is now that house.
Yeah, and that is something for me that is precious, and I see it in my children as well. The compassion and the heart to want to do and help and have people around, and cooking. Christopher loves to cook. Lauren loves to cook. My son Albie is so pretty and so beautiful, and that's his gift to life. His face, because he doesn't cook.
He got it from me.
He doesn't cook. He stands there. He gets the wine. He's my runner. He'll run out and get the wine and everything else we need, but he doesn't want anything to do with the kitchen. The other two are foodies. So.
Wow.
And Caroline has, like, when you look at Caroline's cooking, it's always family style. You go over to her house, she's got like the big tray of like jambota and like sausage and peppers and pasta and all of the Italian delicacies. She does family style so well that no matter who's over the house, they walk out and they can't believe the amount of food.
They're fed. Yes. And it's funny because Jaime has that, but he brought it up a notch because he's used to feeding the masses. And what he did, and what he, in the rock and roll world, in the music industry, he's fed, icons.
Yes.
Traveled the world, fed icons over the years. I did not have that. I had a very different, life than him. But he has taken a meatball or a pasta dish that was simplified many, many years ago from my grandmother and kicked it up a few notches.
Yeah, but that's the great thing about food is that you can elevate it or bring it down. It's like anybody can add an ingredient and make it special and make it their own. And I think that being somebody that loves food and design, and I'm a culinary graduate as well too, so it's like I'm used to being around these chefs that are trying to outdo each other. I'm always trying to bring something up, but it's always great to see where it comes from. The beginning. So Caroline will be cooking. Like I love going to Caroline's house, and she'll be cooking something. A couple of months ago, I was there and we were doing risotto, right?
We made risotto and we made sausage and peppers.
Right. So it's like,
the simplest of dishes, but
but it's like, why don't we add some, some butternut squash to that? And like, what do you mean? I'm like, you can do that. And they're like, oh wow. So we're changing things, but that's the great thing about food, and that's the great thing about cooking with love and passion, especially family recipes. I love a family recipe, right? It's like people are so. It's a memory. It's food memory. And we have so many of them. I mean, that's the good part about growing up
What
Italian.
I did for my daughter this year, she's, like I said, she's a good cook. But she'll always call me, Mom, how do you make this? How do you make that? And so 2 years ago, I broke my foot and I was stuck in a chair for weeks and months, really. I couldn't walk. And I decided, let me get all my recipes and put them down on the computer, print them out. And I had photos, and I printed the photos, and I put them in a binder. And I said, you know what? I want her to have these recipes, but I want them in my hand. So I took all my recipes and I got a book, and I wrote in the beginning of the book, Lauren, this is from me to you. You're probably not going to be able to read everything because my handwriting is atrocious, but I just want you to know that I want you to think of me when you make these recipes, and I want you to pass these down to your children because I need you to know how special it was for me to see my children laughing around the table and enjoying the food that I cooked, that I learned to cook as a little girl, from my mom, my mother-in-law, my grandparents, whatever. And I said, I wish the same for you and your family. And my daughter's like she's a spitfire, and she read it and she cried, and she said, Mom, this is,
I'm
really
about
special.
to cry.
So that's how deeply in our bones, in our
Yes.
soul, to us food is love.
Yep.
And there's nothing better to me than a Sunday when everybody's around and my kids all come, and Christopher and Lauren will be there, and they'll, Mom, let's do that. Christopher loves to change recipes like you. He's an outside of the box thinker. Lauren's more traditional. And like I said, Albie will come in with the wine, whatever, and she'll make a beautiful display, Renati pasta of some sort, and we'll make a really great dinner. And that, for me, is the best gift ever.
Yes.
To have my children in their 30s still want to be home, still want to be with us cooking and everything. And I know that will transcend into their lives. And what a wonderful gift to give your children.
Yeah, sure.
The gift of love through food.
Yeah.
And it's all those memories that, that's why kitchens are so important to me as a designer too. Like I love creating new vignettes and new different styles. It's where most memories are made in the home.
Yeah.
So Caroline's house is like riddled with like memories of years and years and years of having all of these people over, just like what we had when we were kids. So I actually, Caroline and I have been talking about, her kitchen's great and it's massive, but she's beating it down.
My house is 20 years old. It'll be 20 years old in April. So he's like, and I built my home, and we were very smart in how we built it. I said I didn't want to go with trend. I wanted to traditional. So it's cherry and it's granite and it's got all the bells and whistles. But he's right. Things are starting to. 2 weeks before last Christmas, a year ago, my stove died, and I didn't know if I was going to have a stove. And Christmas is big, and I was like, oh my God! And I actually posted a picture on Instagram of my stove completely taken apart on my kitchen floor, like it's 3 days before Christmas. Please work. So he's like, he came over, like I said, a couple of months ago, and he's looking at. I know what he's thinking. I know his brain, and he's like looking around. He goes, why don't we do this and why don't we do that? And I have to say, I don't have any Viking in my home because the house is 20 years old. I won't say what I do have. Yes. But through Jamie and through you going to Chicago and seeing everything and going to Mississippi to see the Viking, which is a trip and a half.
Yes, in
Greenwood. Yes. I suggest anybody to go because you can and take the little cooking class.
How fun was that?
Beyond.
Caroline and I went to Graceland dressed as Elvis.
We dressed as Elvis.
This is hilarious.
We were going to Graceland. I said, Caroline, I got something for you. And we put on the uniform. We did it right.
Which I would never do in a billion years, and he just brings that out of me. It's in me, but he brings
totally
it out of me.
You want to know why? Because I remember Caroline now. I basically went on my own and had to experience my life and change my life as an adult and do what I had to do, whatever. But I remember Caroline and I being kids. And that's Caroline and I were very much closest in age. And we were ridiculous. We would laugh like hell. And do stupid things.
And all the wrong things.
Yeah, I mean.
And all the wrong things.
But that's what I miss about being a kid, again, is all the funny, because we were hilarious people. And we love food. But the thing is that whenever I'm with her, I feel like I want to bring that back. Because as an adult, right, you go through your life, and it's like you lose sometimes the fun.
It started innocently enough where we're in Memphis, and he goes, I'm buying you a TLC necklace. And I'm like, fine, I'll wear the TLC necklace, right? No, TCB.
TCB.
Taking care of business,
Well,
not
TLC is what makes your flesh your home.
TCB.
Two different things.
Taking care of business. I was like, fine, for the lightning bolt, whatever it was, fine, I'll wear it. So I got this necklace on. He's wearing his. He gets his with the diamond in it, of course.
Because she's got more diamonds than me. She's got way more diamonds than I do.
He's got to have the diamond on it.
They weren't even real. It wasn't even real diamonds. Fake diamonds.
Fine. Next thing I know, he throws something, and we're on this bus full of people, and he goes, put it on. What is it? It's an Elvis costume.
A onesie.
No.
A onesie. Like
A
pajamas,
onesie?
Like pajamas.
An Elvis onesie.
So I'm like, fine. Then he whips out the Elvis glasses, put these on. Now I'm like, Jamie, for real? He's like, really? That's okay. We get off the bus, and there is a clap of thunder. Like you never heard, and I'm like, Elvis approves.
Elvis approved, and then it was game on from there.
We walked through Graceland like we owned it, like I belonged there. Yeah, come on, follow us.
It's true. We were taking care of business, Margaret.
In Graceland.
So on that note, we're going to talk about Marky too,
love.
Right?
My granddaughter.
We're going to talk about Marky. Marky's I can't wait for Marky to speak because I think Marky's first words, we're going to have to document this, but. I feel like her kitchen needs a whole new makeover. So what I want to do is I want to be able to have my way with her kitchen. I think you trust me enough. I introduced her to so many Viking things like the Turbo Chef. I can get her the kitchen faster.
It's life-changing.
Yes.
I was at Viking in Mississippi, in Greensboro, which is the cutest little town ever.
Greenwood.
And Greenwood. I keep saying Greensboro.
It's a New York thing.
It'll be Greensboro in my brain forever. You know that.
I know that. It's okay.
Greenwood. Love it.
Yes.
Anyway.
Made in the USA.
It is the cutest little town. They're so hospitable, and the hotel is fabulous.
It's great.
Yeah.
Little spa.
Salt
everything.
of the earth people.
Yes.
So we went to the Viking kitchens, and we learned how to cook all the recipes from the movie The Help, which
Wasn't
was
that fun?
so much fun. And then they gave us a little tour of the facility where everything's made and what each product does. Well, I see this Turbo Chef, and I'm like, I look at
No,
him,
you fell in love with the Turbo Chef and the Tuscany range.
Yes.
That Tuscany range.
Can't.
I know.
Well, to make Italian food on a Tuscany range,
Yes,
it seems
see, it all
very
makes sense.
fitting.
Listen,
a perfect pairing.
You're only as good as your equipment.
I'm there. So he said to me, I want to do your kitchen over. And I'm like, I don't care. Because that's one thing about me. It's like, I go in the hair, Don't judge. But I'll go in the hair salon. No, what color you want? I don't care. How do you want to cut? I don't care. I'm very easygoing, which may be surprised. You may all be surprised about that. But I am super easygoing person. I'm not like a control freak at all. Although some people like to think I
wouldn't say you were. I wouldn't say that you were a diva, because there's divas out there. We all know them. But I do think you know what you like and don't like.
I am very quick to make a decision. Wallpaper, paint. I'm not that person that sits and agonizes. I see what I like.
Yeah.
I shut the book and I don't look at it.
Caroline, she has her
Wow.
she knows what she likes and what she wants.
Right.
Like
That's
it's a
very Leo
family
thing.
gene.
So I told him, do what you want. I trust you.
I can't wait. You know why? Because what I know more than anything, I know that the environment, what the environment is, how they like to party and how they like to entertain, and it's going to be even better. And then little Marky, which we're going to bring up right now, will get to grow up in that kitchen.
Like chickpea.
Oh my goodness, that kid.
Chickpea.
I mean, so you go through this whole thing with reality TV.
Right.
We touch on that. You did I look at, by the way, I'm Jaime Manzo. I'm not
what they call him.
I'm not
Whatever
Jaime
works.
Laurita. I'm Jaime Manzo, Caroline Manzo's brother for the rest of my life.
That'll work.
That's fine. I'll take it, So I'm Jaime Manzo, but you have this like housewife identity. You do all that, and now you're an empty nester, so to speak.
Yeah. Kids are gone, pretty much. And I watch my granddaughter 3-4 days a week because my son-in-law and my daughter both work. They both own businesses, so it's tough for them. And I just, I had the luxury of being able to say, no, I will watch her. She is starting preschool in September, and my heart wants to cry because she's just so tiny. She's a tiny little thing.
Little petite, little bug.
But she's so full of attitude. So anyway, she's starting preschool in September, and now I say to myself, well, what's next? Where do I go from here?
So what is next, Caroline Manzo?
What is?
What if you were to, because I'm sure you never had this, I always think about it, I know you never thought in a million years that this would be your life.
Never. I never aspired to be on television. It was truly thrown in my lap. It was thrown in my lap. It's not even that I stumbled upon it. It found me.
How did that happen?
The producers went to a salon in our neighborhood and they said, do you know any women that are affluent and over the top? I was not one of the people they mentioned. So I was out of that equation. They were doing a test shoot at my sister-in-law Jacqueline's house, who lives right down the street from me. And she said, you really should go see my sister-in-law Caroline. And they came and I said, listen, not my thing. I don't belong on this. I don't match the vibe. No, we kind of like you because you're the balance. So I always stressed to my kids growing up that life brings things. And when those things come to you, you make a decision to keep them or not to keep them.
Choices.
And in those choices, there are consequences, and you either learn from them, you grow from them, you sometimes hurt from them, but there's always a lesson in there or an experience, whatever the case may be. So I'm not one to say, do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
I'm going to show my kids I'm taking that leap of faith at 40-something years old. I'm not fancy. I don't wear makeup.
No, she's not. And that's the thing there's a Halloween picture where I dressed up as Caroline one day. The reason why I did it is because I used to watch her on television and go, oh my God, look at Caroline. She looks like she's like about to go into like a beauty pageant. That's not who she is.
I am very low. Cowboy boots, jeans, t-shirt.
Right.
No jewelry, no makeup. Yes. That's me. And so I said, well, let's see where it takes me. Let's see where I land.
It was almost like you were a drag queen.
Sort of.
You're a drag queen.
Was not especially I had that Washington set too, kind of vibe going on.
Listen, you were like a drag queen.
Yeah.
I was a drag queen. The only time I've ever done drag was Caroline Manzo drag. And I got to tell you, it's not easy to be Caroline Manzo.
No, it isn't.
No, it's not. Yeah, I did it for one day. I can't imagine the pain and suffering you went through. I wore an exact replica. As a matter of fact, Rich made the dress that she wore by hand.
Wow.
And I was Caroline Manzo for a day. I had my hair done, my makeup done, the earrings. I was legit Caroline Manzo. Painful.
Yeah.
I don't know how you women do it.
So, well, that's why I don't.
Yeah.
I'm always in flats, and I'm always, I'm very low. I am very low key. I live a very simple life, and I'm like, not my thing.
Right.
So here I am, and I find myself 10 years later. We had The Housewives, which I was on for 5 years, and opted out to leave because it was just a little much. And then Bravo was kind enough to give me a spin-off show, Manzo with Children, with my husband and children, that ran for 3 years, and then they decided we were just a little too normal for reality TV.
How's that possible?
And I understand that business decision. I'm sad for it because I miss it. I was proud of that show. But now what's next? Who knows what's next? Maybe it's something with my love of cooking and,
Maybe we should do something together.
I think the two of you.
You think?
Are you ready to work?
This
Are you
would be
ready for
fun.
that?
Yeah, I'm ready for that.
I always...
We're the same brand of ice cream, just different flavors.
And you have to
You have a
go
little
back
more
to
swirl.
that farm.
I'm Rainbow Swirl. You'd be what? If you were going to name your own ice cream flavor, what would it be? Margaret, you're going to also. I'm Rainbow Swirl. Got it down.
I'd be salted caramel.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I'm always just plain vanilla.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, she's something like
No,
pink
she's like
and sparkly.
well, she's got to be unicorn.
Yes, she's unicorn.
Unicorn.
She walks in, she's like,
No, there's got to be
like those
honey.
sparkles follow her.
Honey. So there's got to be. I got to have honey. I said you're a bottle of honey. Sweetie. It's called mixed sweetie, and it's got it. Vanilla, honey, with like some sort of like a Lucky Charm
praline?
additive. Maybe a praline.
Little praline.
Oh, I like those.
From the South. You're from the
I
South.
was born
There
in
it is.
New Orleans.
Got it.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah, so it's a southern sweetness. We'll name it later.
Yes.
So a rainbow swirl. And what were you again?
I'm salted caramel.
Salted caramel. Got it. Sweet Caroline.
I'm
Sweet
Caroline.
Caroline.
Kaboom.
I am.
Kaboom.
Yeah, so anyway, that's an interesting thought. See how things happen?
Yes, you too. And
Well,
to
there's a coin. We're two sides of it.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Yes.
I think people would appreciate that. Learning something, taking things to different levels. I like
Well,
it.
because I'm certainly not trained anyway. I'm literally a housewife from New Jersey, legit. So there's no formal training there. However, I could make a nice meal. You'll go out full and happy from my house. Where Jaime has that foundation.
Yes.
And I can throw some fairy dust on
And
it.
you're formally trained.
Correct.
And you have traveled the world extensively several times.
Right.
Yes.
I've done my fair share of traveling, but nothing like you.
I love when I go to Caroline's house and I'll be doing something with like flowers or something, and she goes, "Ooh, I like that." Like, oh, and then like, you know what I mean? Like you're always.
The flowers.
Our mother, super talented in the flower world and painting, super autistic. My father's super autistic, so we all have that. I have probably the least of it, where Jaime can make a dish look stunning, and I just make it good, delicious, whatever the case may be. That's some things I make great, some things I'm just okay. But it's just, okay, here's your food, and Jamie's like, no.
I'm like, no, girl.
No.
We're gonna elevate it.
We gotta bring it up.
Let's make it pretty.
But we both have a love for a beautifully set table
Yes, we do.
and flowers and.
What about our fashion sense?
Well,
What do we do every single time? It's so weird.
never planned,
Never.
always coordinated.
It's so
Never,
weird.
but I mean
Yes, you
coordinated
are
to the point of stupid.
I know. I'll
Like
never forget.
Hot pink. I
Hot
woke
pink.
in with hot pink, and hot pink, and what was it? And
Baby blue, black, and hot pink.
And you
Now, how do
both
you
showed up.
plan that?
You don't.
She's wearing a beautiful pink pantsuit, black, and like a baby blue shirt with a bow. I think.
Right,
it
no,
is.
it was like a V-neck, but it was baby blue, black, a rose, color.
Homegirl comes in a pink suit with a baby blue tie. It was like every single time. There's something about
Every
it.
time.
Amazing.
Every time we
Not a
match without-
twin connection, but just kind of a
It's a family thing,
sibling
Margaret.
thing. Oh, that is so special. And you must be so proud
He's
of
okay.
Jaime.
I'm all right.
And
She's all right.
all of
She's okay.
these, this beautiful
No, she's all right.
showroom.
Every time someone says
okay.
you're, oh my God, you're Caroline Manzo's brother, I'm like, who's that?
No, she's my sister.
That's my sister.
Right.
Okay.
No, it's a blessing this late in life to
Sure.
have a bond with a family member that's so genuine and good and feels good.
We meet in a place where we don't really need one another,
Right.
except for like I just want to have fun.
I want to have fun. I'm
Fun.
at a point in my life
Have
where,
fun. Have fun. Don't be hanging. I just want to have fun. I don't care about
I
anything
just
else.
want to have fun.
I'm getting old.
That's it.
Getting old, kids.
Listen, you think of something,
We'll make something happen.
make something happen.
What about you, McSweens? What do you think?
McSweetie?
I think y'all should definitely be in the kitchen together, on the farm together, to
Now I gotta buy a
recreate
farm?
that. You have
Now
to
you
buy
make
a
Yes.
farm now. And to recreate those childhood memories and have those family reunions. That would
So
be
Caroline,
amazing.
that would be amazing, but I got a couple of quick questions for you. So with all that fame, you've never seemed like 100% comfortable with it.
It's a bizarre thing.
And being
It's a bizarre thing.
and being someone that's, I've traveled with the most famous people in the world, musicians, icons, and I know what fame looks like from that side of the table, and then you have a whole other flavor of fame. What is tell me about fame from your perspective.
It's not all it's cut out to be. I didn't really enjoy it because I never understood it. And why I didn't understand it, I never understood what the big deal was. And I think the network always, with me, was like, that one. Because I go on, national television and say, listen, I don't know what the big deal is. We have no talent. We just wound up here. Think about it. I can't sing. Can't dance. I'm not stubborn.
Yeah, but people love you because of
Yes.
the way
Yes.
you tell the truth in the best of ways.
Well, that is something I think we inherited.
Sure,
we
but
have
that's
that gift.
but that's really
you know?
refreshing because I think and I want you to continue to answer the question, but most celebrities are actors.
True.
You didn't really act.
No.
Right.
And that's
what
one,
people found refreshing, I think.
Well, that's the one thing I could say. People, over the past 10 years, they'll meet you and they say, "Oh my God, you're the same person." That's a compliment.
That is.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Because that's what, and I remember filming many years ago on Christmas Eve, they filmed, and I was heartbroken for the crew. Because Christmas. What are you doing at my house on Christmas? You shouldn't be at my house on Christmas. So Christmas dinner is always a big thing. And I came down and how I'm usually dressed my Christmas. It's like a bum because I'm using my shirt as a cloth. So I'm cooking and I'm using my shirt as an apron or whatever. So I'm not going to come down in heels and look and say, okay, I'm going to cook for 30 people now. That's not how you cook for 30 people. If anybody ever goes in the kitchen, they're not cooking. They're not cooking. All right? So I go in there like that and they were like, aren't you going to change, put makeup on? Are you going to cook dinner? Because unless you're going to cook dinner, this is the way I'm going. No makeup. I had a Giants t-shirt on. Shout out to the Maras, love you. Okay? And that's the way I cooked. But I also cooked the identical meal and set it in the table, the dining room that wasn't being filmed for the entire crew.
Oh, boy.
And I also gave each of the crew members a gift because I felt terrible that I took Christmas away. Not me, it was my job.
Right.
I took Christmas away from these people. And it just killed me. And I made sure that they had dinner and they had gifts. And now, obviously, you don't know, the likes and dislikes of the sound guy or the guy that's getting your coffee every day. So I just got everybody. I made each of them chocolate, a box of chocolates. And
Now you sound like McSween's.
I made each of them a box of chocolates, and I got them each a scarf, a pair of gloves, or a hat.
Nice.
And that I knew that they would use.
Sure.
And years later, you see them wearing the hat that you got them years ago. And that made it okay for me.
Yes.
But things like that, you got to keep it real because guess what? You got to meet these people, and what goes up comes down. You know what I mean? So those people that forget where they came from or think that there's something that they're not, they're going to have a very rude awakening one day. Because the one thing that I always taught my kids and Al and everything, this isn't going to last forever. This is temporary. And I would argue a lot with the producers and say, no, I'm not going to say do that, whatever, because my children especially have to go out and make a life for themselves. When so you're not paying me enough that I don't have to worry about them to go into a meeting or be respected. So they're going to be who they are. If that works for you, great. And if it doesn't, see ya.
Right.
So they said, see ya.
Well, it's like, like you said, it's a double-edged sword,
Yeah.
but you've gotten tremendous opportunities.
Right.
And what was your favorite thing? Like, as far as like that whole time in your life, was there a meeting of someone that you met, like another celebrity maybe, or someone, what was the most like, I can't believe, I mean, I know from watching you from the other side of the camera, like, oh my God, I can't believe Caroline is on that show now.
3 things. Walking out on the stage of the Tonight Show.
Oh, big.
Wow.
And Jay Leno coming into the dressing room and he's like leaning on my makeup chair like this and he's talking to me and I'm like, he's this close to me and he's talking, and I'm like, it's Jay Leno. What am I doing here with Jay Leno? And walking out behind that curtain to the Tonight Show. You know, and that was insane. The second, that Regis Philbin dressed as me one holiday.
No.
Yes, that was my favorite.
To see Regis Philbin, and every time I saw him, he'd say, "Hey, sweetheart," like that, like crazy. And the third thing was fulfilling a bucket list item of my husband's. And being able to do that for my husband, I cried the entire time because I couldn't believe I did it. He got to meet Hugh Hefner in the Playboy Mansion. And that's a long story. My sons were invited to play golf with this charity event. And my husband said, "Gee, I really want you to come with me." I'm like, "Al, go play with your sons in California. It's a guy trip." "No, I really want you to come." So long story short, I go. I said, "I'm going to go and I'm going to hang out by the pool. I'm not going to bother you. Do your thing." You know? So the bunnies find out that I'm there. And it turns out there are quite a few of the bunnies are fans. Right? And I'm like, this is mortifying. My boys are with the Playboy bunnies and here comes Mommy. Like, it's awful. So I said, I'm not going to go to any of the events. I'm not going to do anything. I don't want to know anything. Go have fun. I'm going to hang out by the pool with Daddy, whatever. So the bunnies come and they convinced me to go to this daytime pool event at the mansion.
Were you in the grotto?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
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 So now.
Goals.
So now we go. And everybody's, "Oh my God, it's Caroline, it's Caroline." Like, there's all kinds of celebrities there and everything. It was really surreal to be on the grounds of the Playboy Mansion. So my husband says, "Do you think we'll see Hugh Hefner?" And I said, "Oh no, he stays. He doesn't come out anymore." And he turns to me and he looks at me. He goes, "You know, that's on my bucket list. Wow. It's always been on my bucket list. That's why I had to hear." I'm like, "You want to meet Hugh Hefner?" He's like, "Yeah." Hold. So now I go and I make a deal with the woman that's running the event. I said, "You want me to go to this party tomorrow?" She says, "Yeah." I said, "Okay. I need something in return." She said, "Why?" I said, "I want to meet Hugh Hefner." "Oh, I can't do that. I can't." "Listen, you want me to go to this party? I'll go to this party if I can guarantee that I'm going to meet Hugh Hefner." Now I see I put her in a difficult position. She's a little embarrassed. I feel bad. I said, "Listen, I understand you're uncomfortable. I'm not going to put this on you. Will you introduce me to someone that's close with Hugh Hefner?"
A bunny, perhaps. Maybe a bunny.
Maybe a bunny. So she says, "That I can do." Thank you. I go to the party, daytime party. They promised me I'd be out by 4 or 5 o'clock before the sun sets. My boys stayed. Don't know what happened, don't want to know, don't care. All I know is I have a picture of my son with all the Playboys in the calendar.
oh my.
So anyway, long story short, I'm standing there having a drink, and this statuesque blonde stunner comes up to me, bunny. She's all bunnied out, right?
With ears?
Everything. And she's got this heavy accent. "You're Caroline Manzo." I'm like, "Oh, I love you so much." "Oh, nice to meet you, honey." Well,
Where's you?
said, "And your name is?" "Oh, I don't know. I'm Hugh Hefner's girlfriend." Bingo. Right? Didn't even, and I said, "Anna, okay, I need a favor from you. It's on a bucket. I'd love to meet you. I'd love for my husband and my sons to meet Hugh Hefner." Right? She goes like this, "I'll be right back." So she goes in the mansion. I'm like, now the mansion's all blocked off. You're not getting in there, right? She comes out very quickly. I'm like, oh, it's a bust. She goes like this. Now I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here, right? So now I text my husband because I don't know where they are. I'm by my side. I told him I don't want to see you, right? Come here now. I got Hugh Hefner, right? They come running. And she goes, "Come." We walk into the mansion. Now I walk into the Playboy. I start crying immediately because I can't believe I did this. I'm standing there. I can't believe I did this. And my husband and my sons are like looking around like, I can't believe this is happening, right? Next thing you know, I look up those Spain stairs, you know. Who comes with his red crush belt with his little sailor cap on?
How are you doing?
Now I am hysterical crying because I can't believe this.
Oh my goodness.
Right? And I'm like, I can't believe this. I can't believe this, right? He comes down and he says, "I heard there's a beautiful woman crying down here."
Oh.
What a gentleman. He hugs me. Now I'm sobbing. I'm getting his own. I'm sobbing. Well, first they asked us, my husband was
behind Caroline, it's a beautiful.
crying. Well, so no, thank you for that. Thank you for that. One other story coming up.
Okay,
so,
payback.
So anyway, before that, let me
She's like,
backtrack a minute.
ass?
You want to be an ass? I'll teach you to be an ass. So let me backtrack a minute. So they said Mr. Hefner would like you to go upstairs to his bedroom. Now I'm so angry at myself.
I'll write that.
No, because whatever it is, baby.
All right, you. I got my own bucket list. I was like, where you going?
you. So anyway,
We got this, you.
I said,
Margaret, your pearls get swollen.
I know, they're flying off.
so I said, I don't want to go up to his bedroom. My husband and my son, after the fact, say, what? What? You said no to that? And I'm like, I don't want to go to God. What? They want to kill me now, right? So finally he comes down the stairs and he says, I heard there's a beautiful woman crying here. So I'm crying and I'm like, you don't know what this means to me. I know you don't know who I am. You don't know what this means to me that you did this. You are so kind. You were so, and he goes away from me. He goes, I know who you are. Now then I want to fall on the floor. I want to fall on the floor. How does this man know who I am, right? I know who you are. He goes, and you are amazing.
Wow.
He says, you are an amazing woman. You are an amazing role model. You are an amazing mother and wife. He goes, and that's why I came down here.
Wow.
Wow.
See, now I thought that's a great moment.
Right.
But I have to add a number 4 to your list because I loved this one. And you became the South Park character.
South Park character.
Oh,
Did you know that?
my. I did not know
And
that.
we were also on Saturday Night Live. They did a skit. So
See
it's
what I'm
like
saying?
pop culture, like really.
You
that
are-
was lightning in a bottle. That
Right.
girl. But I can say that they took photos of us on another thing at the Playboy Mansion. So I can say that I was in Playboy magazine because they did post those photos. So not only that, and I also danced with the Rockettes. So those 2 things I can say: I danced with the Rockettes, and I was in Playboy
You
magazine.
danced in the
Done.
So celebrity
Done.
does have its perks.
Right.
It does have its perks. Right?
Well, I'm so honored that you're on Kitchen
And here
Chat
I am on
after
Kitchen Chat
all
with
of
Margaret McSweeney.
these and Jamie Laurita.
Oh, well, you know.
This is just such a
So many stories.
special time to get to know. Because I'm so sorry, I never watched The Housewives.
That's
so
okay. I didn't watch it either. I was on it and I never watched it.
I watched my wedding. That was a great moment.
And I still need to do that. But I'm just so honored that you're on Kitchen
don't be
Chat, and
silly.
I'm so
I'm thrilled to be here.
excited to watch the journey and see
What are we gonna do?
what
This is
happens
born right-
next, so we
See
can
it.
follow
This
along
was born
via
right
this.
here, right now.
Right
Mark
now
the
in
day,
Kitchen
mark
Chat.
the time.
Yes.
We have it.
Next year, you'll film another kitchen chat, and it'll be like us explaining why we never talk to each other anymore. I can't
No drama.
believe what
No drama.
Caroline did to me.
I can't believe the hideous kitchen he designed.
My kitchen sucks so bad. Ain't gonna happen. Ain't gonna happen.
Oh, but thank you so
My
much. And
pleasure.
I just love how you have shared family and food, and I love what you do for charity. You use your platform of fame
We try.
for really helping others, and charity begins in the kitchen, and that's so important. And is there a special charity that you'd like to,
Oh,
to
God, we-
mention or
we-
anything?
We do a lot on a local level, you know,
Okay.
with the law enforcement and the churches in our neighborhoods and
Yes.
everything. But I am a big supporter of Wounded Warriors.
Yes.
Because these people go and they risk their lives to protect us, and not only do they sacrifice, their families sacrifice, and everybody seems to forget that. You forget, you think of the soldier going overseas and fighting. What about the moms, the dads, the husbands, the wives they leave behind, the children? They're sacrificing as well. So sometimes they don't come back in one piece, and you have to help them.
Yes.
It's our duty to help them. So Wounded Warriors is a charity that I like to support.
And we'll make sure we have a link to that. And I always like to end the show with 3 quick tips for the home chef.
Go.
You.
Oh, Megan, I thought you were going to give us a quick tip.
No, these are your tips.
My
girl.
tips. Okay, do what you love.
That's a good tip.
Great
do what you
tip.
love. Don't be intimidated. Let your cook fly. Like you say, let your fruit
Let your,
fly.
freak flag fly.
Let your cook fly.
Let your
because-
food flag fly. We coined that today.
because it's your house, your home, and it
like
has
that.
to be your spirit and what you're giving from. So
Let your food
Right.
flag fly. Love
So
it.
that is, don't be intimidated. If there's something, I don't care if it's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If that's what you make great, you serve that peanut. You serve it like with flair, because food is love.
That is great. Thank you for sharing your flair
Don't worry
today.
about it.
And I
Anytime.
just love this. I treasured this time. And thank you, dear foodie friends, for joining us here on Kitchen Chat in the beautiful Viking and La Cornue showroom in New York City. And make sure you visit Jaime, of course, in the showroom here in New York and Chicago, and the wonderful people here. And how can people reach out to you? Instagram?
Instagram, Caroline Manzo on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook, of course. And
She's got a few people following her.
Yes,
I think
absolutely.
they can find her.
Absolutely.
She's got a few. She's got a couple of people.
lots of photos with my granddaughter and food
Tons.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
That is wonderful. And Jaime is at Jaime Laurita on Instagram.
You'll find me.
Yes, you'll find it. We'll have links, of course. And thank you for joining us on this journey. Make sure you check out thevikinglife.com for more inspiration and recipes. And come visit me in my kitchen too, kitchenchat.info. And always remember to take a moment and savor the day.
Thanks for joining Margaret for Kitchen Chat today. Margaret would be so excited for you to drop by and visit with her at kitchenchat.info, where you'll enjoy podcasts, blogs, recipes, tips from chefs, and even great giveaways. She invites you to share your recipes and kitchen stories too. As Margaret always says, savor the day.